Welcome to
All for One Stories.
The story you will be listening to is The Heating Contractor by James G. Bruen Jr.
Looks like a heating contractor,
said the elderly man, peering from behind the curtains that covered the picture window in the small living room of the secluded cottage in the deep forest.
At least that's what it says on the side of the truck, Greta.
Rocking gently in a chair, his sister looked up from her knitting.
I don't know if we should let him in, Hans. He might try to scam us, just like that man who came last year who said he'd fix our driveway. Then he wanted to do the roof, too. Then he was going to replace our windows, and before long he wanted us to pay him lots of money. Con men always try to cheat old people, Hans.
They watched as the technician navigated the leaf-strewn cobblestone path to the door.
At least we got him to check out our heating system before winter came. This one looks like a nice young man. He's a little portly, but he moves easily and has a nice crisp uniform.
Hans closed the curtain and went to the door.
We should get a measure of the man before we decide what to do. But we need to make provision before the winter sets in again, Greta.
Well, that other fellow wanted our credit card numbers. The nerve of him. Did he really think we were that gullible?
Thank heaven we don't have any credit cards.
Whatever you decide will be all right, dearie. Just be sure to offer him some candy.
Hans unchained the door and opened it before the man was able to knock. Crisp autumn air flooded the cottage. Once the repairman explained that he was offering a complimentary, no-obligation inspection of the home's heating and air conditioning system, Hans let him in, noting that their home was not air-conditioned, but had a custom-made gas furnace. The repairman carried a small, hard plastic toolbox. He donned paper shoe covers before entering. The three chatted briefly in the living room. The two men remained standing. Greta continued rocking. The knitting needles flew rapidly the entire time. The repairman, Larry, said he would give them a written estimate before undertaking any repairs or maintenance. He assured them that his company was licensed and bonded, that it was registered with both the Chamber of Commerce and the Better Business Bureau, and that it was rated highly on Angie's list. Greta offered Larry sugar candies. Hans wanted to know who Angie was.
What do you think, Greta? Should we have Larry look at the furnace?
He looks like a sweet young man, Hans. But I'm not very good about these things. It's up to you.
The cottage had no basement. Hans led Larry through the kitchen to an alcove that housed the furnace.
I've never seen a unit like this or this large. I could almost walk into it. I like the window that lets you see inside. Custom built, you say?
Yes, we replaced the one used by the old crone who lived in the cottage before us. The people who built it for us thought we were overbuilding, but we like it. It works well.
Larry placed his toolbox next to the furnace, emptied his pockets of phone and keys, turned the gas cock to off, and set about inspecting the furnace.
Electric ignition. I don't see many of those.
Custom built, just the way we wanted. Do you mind if I watch?
Not at all. If I see any problems, I'll point them out to you.
A large double-paned window covered much of the door to the furnace. Larry unclasped the door and swung it open. He looked about the interior with the aid of a small flashlight.
What an unusual configuration. That looks like an oven rack in there.
Larry leaned inside for a better view. Hans quickly shoved Larry in, shut and relocked the door, and turned the gas cock back to on. Ignoring the muffled screams emanating from inside the furnace, Hans retreated to the kitchen where, standing on a stool to reach above a cabinet, he toggled a switch from heat to cook. He set the control at 250 degrees Fahrenheit before climbing down. Greta called to him from the living room.
How's it going, Hans?
Very well, Greta. It'll take a while to cook, but we'll be well provisioned for the winter.
Did you remember to get the keys? It was quite difficult getting rid of that truck last year after that other man's keys melted.
Yes, Greta. Larry left them on the floor outside the oven.
It's getting late. Let's wait until morning to move the truck. No telling what criminals might be out and about in the night. That was The Heating Contractor by James G. Bruen Jr. Directed by Greta Lynn Darkey. The cast, in order of appearance: Dennis Jerz as Hans, Michael Thimons as the narrator, Eva Rainforth as Greta, Albert Saenz as Larry. Our audio technicians were Jacob Gorsuch and Tom Marinchak. Thank you for listening to
All for One Stories.
The music was composed by Greta Lynn Darkey, and the sound effects were created for We Are One Body Audio Theater by Jacob Gorsuch.
A production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.
If you want to learn more about this story and why we published it on We Are One Body Audio Theater, click on the link at the bottom of the page to tune into a discussion held by the staff regarding the issues in this story, including isolation, childhood trauma, and the nature of sin. We hope that you'll join us and enjoy the conversation about The Heating Contractor.
Used by We Are One Body Audio Theater, with the permission of the licensor, granted under a copyrighted license agreement. First published in Gilbert Magazine, a publication of the American Chesterton Society.